rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilor Schlebaugh will lead us this evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Judy, would you call roll for us?
Councilor Lorenz.
Here.
Councilor Schlebaugh.
Here.
Councilor Martinez.
Here.
Councilor Schrader.
Here.
And Mayor Garcia.
Here.
We have a quorum with everyone present.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, Judy?
Schlebaugh.
Here.
Martinez.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Lorenz.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
I take that was an aye.
That was an aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. All right, we have three individuals we need to recognize this evening for their year of service that were here last week. So we'll take a few minutes to recognize them. First one is Eddie Rodriguez. First one.
I have a phone.
Take a minute. Oh, as well. All right, so here's your certificate for your year of service. Thank you. All right, thanks for being here.
Oh, will everyone scoot a little bit this way? Just, there we go. All right, smile. We're good.
Awesome. Stay right there. Thank you. We appreciate you being here. We really do. You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Our next person is Michael Martinez. Okay. Save the best for last. Carolyn Gonzalez.
Alright.
Thank you. You are an asset to the theater for sure.
Couldn't do it without the volunteers. Thank you.
Yeah, but the only thing, Carolyn didn't stand up.
Next item on our agenda is Dawn with SLB Housing Coalition. For you.
Hello and thank you for having me tonight. I'm Dawn Melgaris with the Soundless Valley Housing Coalition, and we are an affordable housing nonprofit organization that helps the entire valley. I recently requested a letter of support from the City of Monte Vista for our down payment assistance program, and we normally don't request support from the cities, but we really feel this program could be beneficial to Monte Vista because we also know that you guys are working on a grant that's allowing you to take homes, rehab them, and sell them to low-income and moderate-income households. And what we do is we take those same households that fit the same guidelines and help them with down payment funds. So we can loan them half of their down payment and all of their closing cost fees with their traditional bank at a 1 to 5% interest rate for 10 years. What this does is a typical loan is 30 years, and so by having our help on this small portion, typically around $12,000, they're saving money in the long run because they're not paying as much interest. The program's great, and I really think it'll be beneficial when the city is ready to start selling homes to the same households that we already help and work with. Our program does many other things besides just down payment assistance, though. We also have home rehabilitation. So once someone owns a home, if their home is needing some repair work, they can come to us and we can help them find a contractor, get the loan money that they need, and these loans can go up to 30 years just like a regular mortgage, so that their payments are very affordable on the work that needs done. And we try to do work that will last them the entire 30 years of the mortgage. We also own the High Valley Manor apartment complex here in Monte Vista, which houses multi-family, so anyone from a single person all the way to large families that we can fit up to 5 in a 2-bedroom unit by regulations. And we have a wide range of people in those apartments. And we have Casita de la Luna in Alamosa, which is an elderly and disabled facility. And so you have to fit one of those requirements as well as below to moderate income. And these facilities house around 65 households annually in them. So we just kind of wanted to give you a quick rundown of what we do, since we did request your support this year, and let you know that we're here to help as you guys move forward. And if there's anything that the city needs with affordable housing, I'd hope you think of us, because we're always looking for new projects and new ways to help our communities throughout the valley. Thank you.
So Dawn, did you, have you already received a letter of support from us?
I sent it to Forrest and
It's in your to be signed, that is your wish list.
So you do need a formal motion for the letter?
A motion or a consensus, anyone.
What wishes the council to write letter of support for the Housing Coalition?
I move to write the letter of support on behalf of the City of Monte Vista to the San Luis Valley Housing Coalition.
Second.
Any other discussion? Judy?
Martinez.
Aye.
Schrader. Aye. Lorenz.
Aye.
Schleba.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you. Now is the time for citizens' comments. If any citizen would like to comment, you have 3 minutes. And just keep in mind, we cannot make any formal decisions during the citizens' comments. Do we have anyone this evening? All right, we'll move on to ordinances. We have our final and second reading for ordinance 875, an ordinance approving and declaring the annexation of territory to the city of Monte Vista and zoning annex property enclave annexation. Wishes of the council?
I move to approve ordinance number 875, an ordinance approving and declaring the annexation of territory to the City of Monte Vista, Colorado, and zoning annex property on second and final reading.
Second.
Any other discussion? Judy?
Schrader. Aye. Lorenz.
Aye.
Schleba.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Contracts, agreements, and leases, we have in our packet the Crane Festival MOU. So, again, they're asking for Sky High and use of the theater. Joe, I don't know if you want to add anything to that since you're attending the committee.
Well, this is something that has been happening for a very long time. They do it every year, and there's a new committee that has taken over the past, I believe it's 4 years now that they're doing it, and they've really revamped the process. They've expanded it. They're generally running out of space for the vendors out at Sky High. The attendance is gone up dramatically, and now they have, last year they had a photography workshop. They have the same workshop again this year. Forrest Nyberg has chipped in this year, and he's hosting a photography contest. So it's every year it gets a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and it continues to bring a great economic boost to the community. And I think it's a really good thing to just continue doing within the community, and anything that we can do to support that, I think is very valuable for them.
So, wishes the council on the MOU?
I make a motion that we approve the MOU with the Crane Festival.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, Judy?
Schleba.
Aye.
Schrader. Aye. Martinez.
Aye.
Lorenz.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Next item is a service agreement for city attorney services with Karen Lintott. This is correct. Wishes the council?
I make a motion to approve the service agreement for city attorney services with Karen Lintott.
Second.
Any other discussion? Judy?
Schrader. Aye. Martinez.
Aye.
Lorenz.
Aye.
Schleba.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Moving on to financial reports. We have our October 31st financial report in your packet. Debbie, did you want to explain go over any of that?
I'm just answering questions. Do you have any?
Any questions for Debbie? Good job. Very good.
I really like the new format for the
Thank you.
update.
Yes. Very good.
So you bring me an amendment before us for the budget to make the corrections you mentioned?
Yes, we're working on that right now, so it should be done for the last meeting in December.
Okay.
And just as a question on that, or just pointed, like, so are we gonna have like multiple like amendments? So like, is it gonna be like an all or nothing, or are we gonna be able to approve line by line like those amendments, or is it gonna be kind of either all or?
Just that like general fund, all the funds, different funds with one dollar amount on there.
Okay.
And you could, you'll have the backup documents to see what amending, but it'll just be approved by fund.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we need to have a motion to approve the financial report?
To accept.
To accept. We have a motion to accept the financial report.
I make a motion that we approve accept the financial report.
Second.
Any other discussion? Judy?
Martinez.
Aye.
Lorenz.
Aye.
Schleba.
Aye.
Schrader. Aye. Garcia.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. City managers report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, councilors. Just a couple things to add that aren't necessarily in the report and to kind of illuminate a little bit. I know Councilor Martinez, you're trying to get hold of me this afternoon. I was being, debriefed and grilled by the auditor. No, it was pretty pleasant. But so, Debbie's done a really great job getting this squared away, and then we had our auditor, Kyle Logan, come down, and he spent the day here. I spent a little time with him. Debbie spent all day kind of going through and figure out exactly what the amendments are going to be, where they're at. A lot of it's, and she's done a lot of work making the financials technically correct, and I applaud the format as well. It's very useful. So honestly, that process has been going very well. Two of our staff members won't be here tonight. Nika had a meeting she had to go to for her kid to make sure he could wrestle next week, and she's been putting in an immense amount of hours getting Kids Connection ready, and it's up and running. We had kind of some of the normal end of rehab glitches, but nothing that prevented it from opening. So that's gone really well, and I think she reflected that in her report. It really has been a cool process, and if you haven't been down there, I'm supposed to do Vanna White again and say, this Friday from 4:30 to 6 p.m., there's an open house down there. So if you haven't been there, you ought to stop by. It's really cool. The amount of space they have now is amazing. There's some more things that we'll have to work on there, but it's a very nice facility. There were some interesting IT struggles at the end, not the fault of the IT department, but there was some wiring that wasn't there, so that was interesting. But they got that resolved in good order. Our recreation supervisor, he won't be here this evening. He's pretty sick. He did come in today, and we gave him the boot because we didn't want to get whatever he had. But he did come in for a juvenile mediation meeting today in regards to the damage that happened at Sky High. And just to update you on that, so there was a juvenile and a non-juvenile. The non-juvenile has had his day in court, was found guilty, was fined $1,000 restitution, and the juvenile will actually get an opportunity to work off some of his portion of the cost. The overall damage is over $3,000. But we're going to try this juvenile diversion kind of thing where this young man will work for the city for recreation in January, then probably in the summer as well. So I think it's a pretty good outcome. And that, of course, wouldn't be in his report. And other than that, I hope by the next meeting I can tell you, and I'll probably tell you before that, but there's some pretty cool economic development activities that are going on right now. There's a bit of real estate downtown that's in play. And, it's pretty exciting with the new steakhouse finally opening and the opportunity for a couple more buildings down there to take shape in 2017. I think we're starting to see some things happen in there, and that's pretty exciting. Creed Curiosities, I still don't know if that's what their name is here, is it?
She told me
Mayor?
on Friday that she was thinking of renaming it SLB Curiosities.
No, okay.
I told her, but they're just going to still call you Creed Curiosities.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
But that's kind of a cool, trendy new business, and they've been in business a long time in Creed, so that's a good addition prior to Christmas. So a lot of things going on. Anika also told me that decorate your business thing's going pretty well. So a lot of people signed up. Some of them still have to decorate, but there's some pretty good ones already. So we're obviously looking forward to the festival this weekend. That should be a lot of fun. I'll be on the northeast corner of Adams on 2nd doing a fire pit, so stop by and get warm. Anyway, that's all I have unless you have any questions. All righty.
Got one actually on the chiefs and managers get together here that you mentioned. I really like that idea, first off, and you're saying quarterly. Is this also, not sure, is this also working with Rio Grande County, or?
We will actually invite the sheriff to the next one, and then we'll have all the law enforcement. It was kind of interesting, these chiefs actually know each other better than we thought. So it was good, and they had really good interaction. And the next piece is to bring in the sheriff. And part of what they talked about is creating like I'm not sure how they'll handle it, but like a frequent flyer bulletin. We'll call it that, because there are some criminals that work our county. And they all know that, but sometimes they don't quite communicate, hey, we're looking for this guy. So, they figure if there's 10 or 15 people, if they get them off the streets, it'll change the crime dynamic pretty good. So they seem, they're very willing to work together, and, I think that's going to go pretty well. One thing on the PD side is that Sergeant might not have thought to bring up, and they don't have a report tonight, is this summer we did have some complaints about the police range and some noise, and that was based around rifle training. And so basically we're going to restrict that use to pistol training. There's not that many people right by there. There's a heck of a lot of train cars, which might make stuff echo a lot more. But the rifle training seemed to be really bothersome to the community. The commissioners got complaints. And so we're still working on where they'll train, but there is the range over at Alamosa, the police training range, which I think will work for those purposes. A little more travel, but we won't be bothering neighbors. We're also going to try to work with Rio Grande Sportsman's Club. I'm going to go to their meeting next week. And, I sent them a letter a month ago and they haven't responded, so I figure I'll just go to their meeting and see if we can work out something with them, because that's much more convenient. And it's a nice range, so we'll keep working on that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We have our city attorney's report.
Here, up there.
Wherever you're comfortable.
Most of the activity that we had was in municipal court. There were 8 municipal court cases. On the 22nd, 3 were revocations. 1 was a hearing on motions, the Brianna Villagomez case. We argued that successfully. The judge denied the defense motion to dismiss, allowed the case to go forward on exhibition of speed. This was at the parking lot at the school. So that is postured now for further proceedings. The last thing we heard was that defendants wanted to remove their counsel and probably enter pleas, but I couldn't talk to them about that because they had not done that on the record, so that's where that sits at the present time. The Michael Galtieri's case was the trash debris case, and he had entered a plea of guilty and he was fined $500. As far as the municipal judge is concerned, that ended his basic jurisdiction, and we would have to proceed on the dangerous building procedures. The defendant he's not actually the owner of that property because it was in his parents' name and still is in his parents' name, and his parents are apparently deceased, so there isn't anyone to be held accountable until some type of estate is filed. And so the city may want to consider whether they're really going to go to that effort of filing an estate or just clean up the property. Because you're going to spend some money, trying to file an estate and get a personal representative appointed and so forth. Maybe more, you have to apply your cost-benefit analysis to that. It might be more economically feasible to just clean it up, even though it's still, if they filed a probate after that, it would probably inherit to the heirs. I've also received about an hour ago a motion to dismiss by the district attorney any and all warrants in the Rafael Delgado Machuca case. And this was based upon a ruling by the county court judge on one of the DA's cases, but we, I believe, still have cases in municipal court or being filed in municipal court, and how this may affect that needs to be analyzed because it indicates any and all warrants, even though it indicates in the county court case. But the county judge made a ruling on this about the suppression of the evidence, which flowed from the same situation. So this is something that the chief may want to take a look at, and the municipal judge. Just thought I'd bring that to your attention. Other than that, we've got on the charter franchise, since we had not heard back from Wendy Moser, I contacted her today to see what the status was on that. And she says that draft is still at Washington and waiting for their approval before it comes back. So she, in her last correspondence, she thought that would be back to us by last week, but it's not back to her yet, so she's still waiting on the comments on that before she gets it to us. The Forrest informed me that the survey that I composed has been sent out to everybody, and I guess maybe it's a good thing it hasn't come back yet, because you'll be able to integrate the results of that survey into the final draft of the franchise, whatever comments might be appropriate and acceptable to the charter on that. Back in mid-October, I sent all of you a memo. I had been talking to Joe about the home grow situation, and I thought I didn't know whether that had gone out to everybody at that point in time or not, but perhaps it has. But if it hadn't, I wanted to make you aware of our drafting on that, sent it to Forrest so that he would be aware of it. You can extract as much of that as you want, whether you like all of it, part of it, none of it, what have you. But anyhow, it addresses the caregiver situation on home grows, and the restrictions on that. That's what we have been involved in. Do you have any questions?
Any question here, Jim? Thank you. IT.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. As you're aware, I was unable to attend your last council meeting, so I'm kind of presenting a report that's a little bit out of date, but I think there's some important things in that report that you might have questions on that we need to talk about. I assume most of you have had a chance to read that by now. One of the big changes for my position is I've taken on the role of the local agency security officer for the CBI, that's the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and we have to take on that role in two departments, in the police departments and the courts, because we utilize their software to do checks and day-to-day business in both those agencies. By using that software, we have to comply with certain rules that they put out. And I have a full list of immediate things that I've noticed as your now LASSO officer that need to be changed. And the police department has been working very diligently to implement those changes, such as people going in the police department, they now have to be fingerprinted or escorted. If they have access to the physical building, they have to be fingerprinted. Certain doors have to be locked. And now we find ourselves in the need of changing the lock system on the building at a very minimum. We have to get a lock system that later on they can audit those locks and see who have gone through those doors. So a punch lock or key lock will no longer do for at the very minimum, the perimeter of the building, since we have all these interconnecting hallways. So we're designing a lock system, and there'll be some signage changes throughout City Hall and the police department, restricted access, things that we take for granted as common sense. You know, if the door's locked, it's restricted access. No, it has to be signed. So we're going to spend some money doing those things in the immediate future, and I wanted you to be aware of that. And I'm not sure if that will come out of the existing budget or if it's going to take a budget amendment to buy those type of locks and get us going on that yet. Don't really have a firm idea of the price of those locks. I know roughly around $450 if we buy them, install them, and service them, and then probably another $50 for the cylinder that goes into the master of it. But in the end, we'll end up with a proximity card, ID card for all the employees, and those cards will open the locks that they have access to. We'll be able to turn those locks on and off for the individual employees at will. We can simply connect to a cloud and say, this employee no longer has access to this door, but they have access to this door now. And that's all easily managed through the cloud. And then in a security situation, we can tell the locks to lock down. We can tell everything that goes on, every person that goes through them. So if there's a question of something in evidence, we can tell you exactly who went through that door at what time frame and for how long they were in and out of that door. And those are all things that are required for us to continue to use the CCIC software provided by the CBI, which is our connection to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So it's very serious, the rules that they ask us to comply with. And I wanted to make you strongly aware of that factor. Any questions for me on that?
Is there like a rough price estimate on some of this?
We are thinking 5 doors at a minimum on a building, around $450 a door right now. That won't do a panic bar door, but it will do anything that's a physical lock door. And beyond that, what we'll do is have the CBI's auditors look at what we need to do to make sure we're in compliance. But we need to get there as quickly as possible.
Any questions for Jim?
Okay, thank you.
We do have one request for action this evening, and that is there's 2 tree board checking accounts at Sunflower Bank that the tree board is asking to have closed.
I make a motion that we close those two accounts and get them transferred into the general fund. And at some point, there will be a budget amendment to,
For the 2017 budget, that will reallocate those funds into the URA fund where the tree board is encapsulated, and they'll be able to spend those funds next year for trees.
Second.
Any other discussion? Judy? Lorenz?
Aye.
Schleba?
Aye.
Schrader?
aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Garcia?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, last item on the agenda is a motion to go into executive session.
We can get the council minutes.
Oh, sorry. Skipping over you guys. Jason, do you have anything to Karen?
No, I don't.
I attended the opening for Quincy's. I think it's really having a business like that that comes in and will has completely revamped the interior of the building and has taken the dedication that the owners have for not only the staff but just everything in general with it. I think is awesome, and I think that kind of hopefully sets a tone for the rest of the businesses that are coming in, saying that these guys are dedicated and they may not be originally from the valley, but showing that they're putting this much effort into our town is awesome, and I want to definitely praise them for doing that. Food was really good. The wait staff is really good there. She's keeping them very, very professional, so that was good. And then just took our shift at the theater this weekend and did pretty good. So thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Thank you.
Just want to put in a plug-in for the Holiday Fest. Mac's actually doing their annual art show on Saturday, and I am part of the Monte Art Council, and I jokingly made a comment about they must be getting pretty scarce on artists if they want me to submit a piece of art. And the next thing I knew, I was submitting a piece of art. So I will be having a small piece on display there. Come by and check it out. I think it's going to be a cool thing to do. And definitely participate in the rest of the events as well. I think it's a great time and it's a great celebration, and I enjoy it every year.
Thank you. I have nothing. There's nothing else. Do we have a motion?
I have a quick question for council. I need to check your availability on December 14th in the afternoon if we were to schedule city clerk interviews during that time.
December 14th? From what time to what time?
I haven't nailed down the times yet, but it'll be the better part of the afternoon.
I'm available till 5:30.
Okay.
I'll be available in the afternoon, not in the morning.
Okay.
Same here.
Afternoon.
Okay, we'll keep it within the business hours of the afternoon then, and we'll keep you posted.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Move to go into executive session pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024E, determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Schleba?
Aye.
Schrader?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Lorenz?
Aye.
Garcia?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
We'll take a short recess. We'll sign your guys' papers and